not a secret. Fire both heads of military intelligence, Paul, and National Intelligence Service, Akol, for failing to be intelligent enough to detect and stop the openly organized coup, and for letting the coup master's minders Reik and Taban slip out of Juba 12 hours after the start of the coup attempt. Let me see what else I can find. Mr. President, I have a secret to tell you, but do not tell anyone, please, or do not let anyone hear it. Please fire 17 of your 22 ambassadors for failing to speak out against an attempted coup against elected diplomat, where are we? I'll use word elected government that deployed them. Start with our envoy in USA. Thanks. Both posts were sent out on the 17th of January 2014 by the young man who has recently joined Rebel, and that is Agel Machar, who was our former youth spokesperson in South Sudan. I actually spent some time on your wall today and reading different articles that you have written in the past, speaking against the Lord of Coup, Bin Laden of South Sudan, killer of our people, Reik Machar. And to my surprise, seeing you join Rebel, I keep asking myself why. What will make this young man become a rebel when he was doing so good, speaking out and informing youth about all the bad things about Riek, and particularly about unity and peace in our nation, because I used to highly admire you and respect you on that, and I will always respect you regardless of the road that you have taken. Completely, you obviously know by now that anybody who is a rebel is, well, I would disagree with them, because I do not see the need to rebel against our people. I see the need for election in order to remove President Kiir instead of being moved by guns. So we now stand politically divided. Nevertheless, we're brothers and sisters. So stay safe, because do not trust Riek. Both you and Garang San, stay safe. You have got into the biggest shark bed with the rebel Riek Machar for ships taking picture with Riek in international countries, where I hope he will stay there in exile for quite a long time, unless if he's willing to bring peace and come back to South Sudan and just do as he's told, like before, and take whatever is being offered to him, or die in exile. Please stop. But my advice is stay safe. Both you and Garang San, stay safe, because you are youth. Although you are nearly on your 30-something, so you shouldn't be called a youth. But you are still youth and massive route to South Sudan. I can understand Garang San actually for becoming rebel, because for years we all know that he was a rebel. Things that he was writing, they were against Kiir, against government sometimes, and I used to fight with him on his wall, saying, Mabior, you cannot do this. I can also understand, because after Garang died, Mabior went through a rough patch, and I lost a father myself, like all other South Sudanese out there who are orphaned. We all know what it's like not to have a dad. But it was not easy for Mabior to lose his father, and it was incredibly added that it was not easy in his mind that he was drinking heavily and he was taking drugs. So I could understand his hatred toward the government. And I watched him for many years writing things that I don't agree with, and just walk away without commenting, because I could understand or empathize of where he was or what he was going through. So when Riek decided that he is indeed going to stage a second coup, or if not more than second actually coup, then it was easy for Mabior to join him. sorry, I have a cold. But with you, I don't understand what made you join Reik and Taban. I read about it and I have heard about it, and I still don't understand what made you become rebellious. I don't get it. And possibly for the rest of my life, I may not even get it. I hope that you would actually return some of my inbox or give me your telephone number, or I will send you my telephone number and we could speak on the phone. Because I need a little bit of understanding as to what made you turn against our people. Like I said, I was reading a few things about you today, and I came across one interesting video. There was a lot actually interesting videos, but there's one particularly that I'm going to be quiet now, and perhaps let others listen to your voice as to what you were saying. Again, I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted that you was rebel. I'm beyond disappointed. I'm not happy with what you're doing, because the youth that you used to speak for are the one now you're killing. Because you are with a killing team, and this killing team is killing youth. It is youth and women and elders who are suffering in South Sudan. And for you to rebel, to kill your friends, your youth that you used to march on Juba Street for peace talk, is shocking to me. Anyway, this is your own word as to what I recall. There we go.
Hello, Agel. How are you?
Hello, Catherine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I am good too. How are you? Happy to be here.
Yes, thanks for the interview. How is your family?
My family, they're doing okay.
Okay, where are they right now?
They are in Nairobi, Kenya, and a neighboring country to us.
And you live with them there, or where do you live?
I live back in the country, and they went there because of the outbreak of violence in our country. We have a civil war going on for the last 6 months.
And what are you doing in the country to help to make that stop? You could call it like kind of civil war.
I am a youth activist in the civil society, and our job is to pile a lot of pressure on the warring leaders to come together and sign a peace deal that will end the war and end it now, so that we can get on the business of nation building as soon as possible.
Does that also include like violence, the work you do?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It doesn't have to have violence. So far, it's about political pressure, and we're telling them that if you don't adjust to the aspiration and the hopes of the people of South Sudan, you may lose your leadership, and the next generation can come in. But it is better that you get your acts together and reunify your ranks and lead us in a good way.
Okay, and in the synopsis of the movie, it was said that you were a soldier again, because in the movie it is a lot about your personal story, how you had to leave the country, how you became like a child soldier, and how was that for you to be a soldier again?
When the war broke out on the 15th of December 2013, it very quickly took an ethnic dimension to it. And as South Sudanese approaching your mid-30s, and you are a man from a certain ethnic group, you automatically became a target. And therefore, you must arm yourself. You are going to be a target anyway. Whether you arm yourself or not, you are going to be targeted. And as a man, it is better you get armed so that you can protect yourself. So I armed myself with everybody else in December. But in January, as soon as relative stability came back, I laid down my arms and I went back to my civil duties of political activism and trying to serve the community by organizing the communities at the grassroots.
But in that time, did you have to use your weapon?
Yes, it was a big war. You may have seen it in the media. In the first few weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, it was really very, very intense. A lot of atrocities were committed. A lot of violence were committed amongst ourselves. And yes, I had to use my weapon many times in those few weeks.
And how did that feel to use that again? Because in the movie it said like you were, I think, 8 or 9 years old.
First war was better. I prefer the first war, even though I was dragged into it way too early for anybody as a child soldier. I felt that there were some objectives that danger anymore. A month later, I lay down my arms because I don't see any objective to pick up arms again. I think the next war should be the war of nation building, the war of establishing ourselves with the rest of the nation, the war of education, good governance, good economic policies, and all this. This is the next war I'm ready and willing to get involved in.
There's another quote for you saying like religion is for individuals, country for us all. Are you also religious?
Personally, yes, you can say I'm religious. I'm a Christian, and I was referring to that old Sudan before we became two Sudans in 2011, and mixing religion with the state was one of the issues that complicated the unity of Sudan and forced us to be two separate countries. So when we say you don't mix religion with the state, is that you don't use the Bible or the Quran or any other holy book to govern the country. You need to use constitution, a modern constitution that is accommodating of all religion and all ethnic groups and all different interests in a country. That's why countries in the West have succeeded. And there were some attempts in Sudan to use one of these religious books to run the country. This is one of the reasons we fought for in the first war. We became independent. So we were saying that if you want to become a Muslim, good for you. If you want to become a Christian, good for you. Move from your house to the church or to the mosque and go back home. But the state has to be accommodating of everybody. Anybody should become president if he wants. Everybody must see themselves in the constitution, in the mirror. And if everybody doesn't see themselves in the mirror, they will try to break that mirror. And that's what happened in Sudan. We broke that mirror because we didn't see ourselves there as the Christian South Sudanese, African South Sudanese. We didn't see ourselves in the mirror of what was Sudan. So we broke it to pieces and we created our own mirror in South Sudan that reflects us. So we cannot go back to the old mistakes of Sudan. So we have to be free. We have to open up. We have to be democratic. We have to be accommodating of different people who may not look like us or may not think like us, so that we can work together. And if you fail to do that, you don't get peace anywhere in the world. So everybody must feel accommodated in the country and feel like this is their nation. They can contribute and they are free to do whatever they want within the framework of the constitution.
But in South Sudan, there are lots of villages, small communities, small tribes, and I think it's very difficult to reach them. How do you think can you send those messages to those places there, like undeveloped? How do you think, how can that message be brought all over the place?
There is a way. Where there's a way, there is a way. And just like my story is just one person doing something in one state out of 10 states, but there are hundreds of people like me in their respective states taking the same message to their people. So we will always find a way to do that. There are radio stations spread across the country. The United Nations mission, the international community are coming in with a lot of support.
How did it happen that you were doing this documentary with Florian and Catalina? When did you meet first?
We met first in June 2011. We were preparing, the country was preparing itself for its Independence Day. We had voted in January that year, 99% to be a separate state. And we were given 6 months transitional period to prepare ourselves for independence. The independence was to be 9th of July. So they came in there to cover this event of formation of the youngest nation in the world. And they took an interest in the basketball team. And I was captain of that basketball team. And we were preparing to play the Ugandan, the first ever international basketball game for the country. So they thought that was interesting and they started to follow us around. And they asked me questions here and there, and they began to develop interest in my personal story as a child soldier, going to Australia, coming back, and all this. So they wanted to know more. So they just kept following me. So my friends were asking, why are these Germans following you around? What are they up to? And I told them, I don't know. They just want to know some stories. So they kept asking from here and there, and they made a collection. But to be honest, I didn't even know what they wanted to do. How it came about, I was just surprised when I saw they called me here and they said there's a documentary, and I looked at it 1.5 hours, and everything, they've put everything together and it looks all good. You wouldn't tell when they were doing it, because some of the time they were very tricky taking the cameras. They would say, they would tell me this is off the record, just tell us this, but it's off the record. And then I would say it, and then everything that was off the record is the one that has been brought in the sometimes they would say, oh, this camera is switched off. Don't worry about it. It is switched off. Just go ahead. And they will have two cameras, and then they'll switch off one and they'll switch on the other one. And then they would ask me, and then I would talk. And everything else that they took in such ways is what make up the whole documentary. So they also help, such techniques also help me becoming open with some of the issues. That what makes the documentary more powerful is that it is things that you thought you were telling your close friends and the whole world will not see, and all of a sudden the whole world has to see. So hopefully they will have the same effect.
And were there problems when you were traveling around with those two Germans with the cameras?
There was a lot of problems, yeah. There was a lot of problems. You have no idea. There was a lot of problems. But they are very tough. They're very tough to people. They're very resilient. So they just kept on, some security would confiscate their cameras. They would call me. They would say, what are you doing? Are you a spy? Are you CIA? Are you MI6? I'm like, no. To be honest with you, I don't know why they're following me, but I don't think it is something to do with with such things. But so we had to get permissions from this office. It's a police state in the country that just came out of war, so everybody's suspicious of everybody. And they went really to very remote areas. You can see in the documentary. They went to very remote areas. They slept out in the rain. They were in the mud. The mosquitoes ate them up. You can tell, the difference between a black person and a white person. When the mosquito bite the other one, you can see very clearly in the morning all the marks and everything. So yeah, they really did a very, very good job. And when I saw the documentary, now I understand why they struggled to do that.
And what do you think is the message of that movie?
I think it's about the story of how the country went through a traumatic experience and how optimistic the country still is, even going through all these challenges, and still want to become a nation. But this is how great nations are built. They go through adversaries. And my confidence is the fact that even though we are different ethnic communities and tribes and all over the place, is that in the past, we have come together for certain purposes. The people of South Sudan, for example, the latest time we came together to fight for our freedom, and is that we managed to unite behind a common purpose to gain our freedom, and we succeeded even though we're different tribes. People thought that we would never wage a successful war against the government in Khartoum, but we did that for 21 years, and we achieved our independence in 2011. So it is still possible again for us to identify a new common goal, that is prosperity, good governance, democracy, nation building and statehood building. We can identify new objectives, and with good leadership, we can rally behind that purpose that can make us a great nation again.
Thank you very much. All the best for the movie, and even more important, all the best, of course, for your country, for South Sudan. Thank you again.
My pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.